everyone. Welcome to the party, the bittersweet party to celebrate the retirement of Ralph and Kyoung at the same time. I've heard several people say that as I've been milling about the room that it's exciting and it's sad because Ralph and Kyoung have developed so many friends and so many relationships here and over the years, and so I would say we should do this more often, but we don't want to do this more often, actually. And I'm Karen Sharp, by the way. I'm an Assistant Director of Human Resources, and so I've had the privilege to work with Ralph and Kyoung for about 3 years, but I've known them for a long time. I was trying to think back to how long I've known Ralph, and I moved to Austin in 1987, and it couldn't have been too long after that I met Ralph. So I've actually known him a long time. And when I moved to the city of Austin to work, which was about 14 years ago, and I was talking to Ralph at that time, and he was telling me how great it was to work at the city. And it was shortly after that I met Kyoung, and I knew what was influencing his opinion of working at the city was getting to work with such a lovely person. So, so I do have a long history with Ralph. And actually, for those of you who don't know, before I came to HRD and I worked at CTM, Ralph and I were meeting and walking around the lake once a week. So I have a long history with Ralph, and I'll certainly miss him, and I've enjoyed working with he and Kyoung and knowing them these years, and I'm just so grateful that that's going to continue, that the knowing part is going to continue and flourish, and I look forward to more walks around the lake, if he's not too busy. Fit me into his schedule. And I want to invite everyone. Mark Washington and I have arranged to have a proclamation at council next week during the, what's that called? Proclamations, I guess, section to recognize their service with the city. So that'll be around 5:30. If you can come, that will be another opportunity to recognize their careers. So I'm glad to see Ralph and Kyoung's family here. Thank you so much for supporting them to be such great city employees and such great folks. And I know the support that you give them and have for these years. So thank you, and thank you for coming today. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark Washington, our Human Resources Director.
All right, thank you, Karen. And Ralph and Kyoung and I, we go way back. Long time. We have history. You know, when I first came, one of the priorities of the city was to establish a succession planning program. And I guess this has been ongoing for a while, sometime. And I saw maybe a month or so before I started here, Karen forwarded me a proposal, and it had on there, it was this huge binder of information submitted by Dr. Goring, Ralph Goring, PhD. I'm sure somewhere in that, although her name wasn't on, somewhere in the compilation of that name was Kyoung's handiwork, and I'll put that together. And then they told me that this is something I really needed to pay attention to, because this was an issue for the city of Austin. Little did I know, some 6 months later, that the person who wrote this program to address succession planning would actually put us to the test. And as you can see, we have no point numbers for this exhibit. But it's going to be we're really going to feel the impact of losing both of them at the same time. And not just from professionally, from what both of you mean to the organization, but their personalities. And as I've gotten to know Ralph and Kyoung over the years. What I've come to know is they have a similar type of humble personality. Both of them. Very, very approachable, very genuine, very sincere. That I will miss. And particularly seeing Ralph at our management staff meetings, who is always the voice of reason, the voice of calm, always finding a win-win in every conversation. The kind of person you like to have to take with you in battle. A very good, reassuring person. And that's good because I'm sure that's the kind of support he got from Kyoung. So I want to thank both of them. I want to thank their families for being so supportive throughout their tenure. And I want to let you know I am not the reason for their retirement. As a matter of fact, now I may mess this up, but we did have a after-hour meeting at the Kick Butt Cafe. Is that right? Is that right?
Kick Butt Coffee.
Oh, Kick Butt Coffee. Are you the proud owner?
Yes.
Boy, all of our, at least my drink is non-alcoholic. Karen, you know. So anyway, I want to thank everyone and again, congratulations to both of them. And I believe I am turned over to Mike at this time.
Thanks, Mark. Hi, everybody. I am the Michael Hockmuller, and I am the acting interim manager of organization development, which is really hard to say. Still trying to figure all that out right now. I came to the city at the turn of the century. Worked closely with Ralph and Kyoung as a consultant, and as I was learning about organization development, one of our previous employees, Carl Penny, I worked with her husband at my other job, and I was kind of asking, what's it like and that kind of stuff. And he said, well, from what I know, and is that Ralph Goring is probably the nicest man you will ever meet in the universe. That turned out to be very true. And then the second observation, he said, but really, Kyoung runs everything. And that kind of turned out to be true, too. We have a big, two really big voids to fill in this division, and it's going to take the effort of everybody here and a lot of you out there to fill that void, and that's something we'll start on Monday. Today really is a kind of an afternoon of celebration, an afternoon of remembrance, and so we have a lot of cool things that we want to show you. You see some of kind of the pictures that we've gathered of their travels through the years with the various people who have worked in this great division and so forth. We have some tokens of our appreciation that we would like to share with them and